Hi folks, welcome to Tim's Project Car, where I demonstrate that you can build a car in an old tool shed like mine. I always try to share what I've learned along the way to make it easier for others to succeed. So please like and subscribe and enjoy the video. Thank you. Okay folks, so a quick talk about why I chose such a wide LSA cam and a little bit about the type of exhaust system I'm choosing to go with. What I started with was, with my Firebird, I ran a narrow LSA, but I had an expansion chamber in my exhaust. It was a full dual exhaust with an expansion chamber. That was able to work with a 106 LSA, even though I had a mini blower on the thing. But in this case, I'm going with a 112 because I'm not supercharged, and also because it's very difficult to fit an expansion chamber underneath the car, and I don't really want to bother with it again. So as you can see, I got this X-pipe kit that's going along, and that's going to go under there with a pair of turbo mufflers and, a dual exhaust. This won't have very high, back pressure. I mean, it's 3-inch up to the mufflers, and then after the mufflers, the tailpipes will be 2.5. But it's not going to be the way an expansion chamber works, where it's bouncing back sound waves. This will scavenge a certain amount, but it won't bounce back the sound waves the way it works with a well-tuned exhaust with an expansion chamber. So this is what I have. Why 112 LSA? It is less affected by the exhaust. It is. I mean, the difference between getting the exhaust exactly right and getting it sort of right might be 10 horsepower. To a narrow LSA engine, it could be 40 horsepower. Okay, narrow LSA won't work well with full exhaust unless very well tuned for scavenging, and that is true. Narrow LSA needs a good scavenging exhaust, either headers with collector extensions. You notice when they do these dyno tests and they show off how smart they are? Always headers with extensions. Never full exhaust. And the other way is if you have a well-tuned exhaust with an expansion chamber, which is for packaging underneath the car. It's difficult, but it can be done. So there it is. So here we are. We're going to try this header on here. Put this bolt in. Okay, so the test is whether I can put a bolt in here and get it to start. And it's being difficult. And here I am on the bench, so you can tell that it's going to be a little bit difficult whether it's... Alright, so the bolts are test fit. The next step is this one here. That plug is in the open, that plug is in the open, that one's in the open. So the one plug that's not in the open is right there. So okay, so that's started. As you can see, the plug is in there. And so now I'm going to finish tightening it and see if I can put a plug wire on without it hitting the pipe. Because if it won't, that pipe's going to have to be relieved too. Okay, so the plug is tight. The clearance is not very good. These headers were designed stupid. Anyway, here's an angle head plug wire. See if I can put this on and see if it touches the header. If so, the header's going to have to be relieved. I am going to use header wrap on this because, as you can see, it's designed to burn plug wires. Burnt plug wires don't work. I can't put this on. Here's another angle of the spark plug. If you look how close that is, that's something that you have to make a little bit more room for. Okay, this is a view of the header after I've massaged it. I got a little bit more clearance here. is actually, it should be enough. In a minute we'll check out to make sure that the spark plug wire goes on well. I'm going to use header wrap, so I think it'll be enough because of the header wrap. Okay, I have the spark plug wire on now. It's pretty close, but I think it'll survive because of the header wrap that I'm going to be using. And to reiterate, of course, I can use a short spark plug if I really need to. I don't think I'm going to. I think this is going to work out okay. And the spark plug wires are going to be going beneath the exhaust when I route them. And so they'll basically be going the way that it's you're seeing it there on this test setup. Okay, so I tacked this extension onto this header because I don't want to use the flange collector that normally is used there. Those things always seem to leak and it drives me nuts. So this time I'm going to get out of it by using the that stainless steel clamp along with just fitting the pipes right up to that, and that way it'll work more easily. I'm going to leave the flange on there in case I change my mind later, though I don't really believe I'm going to. And for now it's a matter of test fitting and seeing what kind of clearancing I need to do to get everything to go, and then I'll weld it up solid. Okay, here I got this thing TIG welded on. I've test fitted it on the car prior to TIG welding it. It does hit against the cross member a little bit, so I'm going to have to tweak on this to make it work, which is going to be kind of a pie slice deal. One piece at a time, but we're off to a good start. Okay, here's the header being test fit on the car, underneath here, of course. I'm having to do some pie cutting and so on to get that around there. Ran out of welder gas, so I might as well just show stuff. This cross member is very close to the floorboard with the this transmission, because this car originally came with a 2-speed transmission. And so now I'm going to have to do the adjusting with the exhaust, because the transmission can't really be shimmed higher and get away with it without getting after the floorboards. And so, please ignore my wonderful welding. I did run out of gas. And so this is all going to work out fine. Okay, this is another thing that I'm working on, is I bought an underdrive pulley for the crankshaft. I'm concerned about over revving the power steering pump, actually. So I got this, it's 5.5 nominally, thereabouts. And the crank pulley that's on the good wrench motor now is a 7. And if you go on over and check out the Oldsmobile engine, which I saved, I didn't throw it away, the crank pulley on that is about a 7.5 nominally. And so the power steering pump was overdriven from the factory, but those engines didn't rev as high. It was a luxury car. And so you can see here, I've got those zip ties. I can't really get the tape measure on there, but it's about 6.5 inches. And so with either of those stock pulleys, it would be overdriven. And so that's why I went with this 5.5. Now, this is going to affect other things. The alternator, I don't think, really cares. But the water pump, that one is going to care a little bit. And so there, I'm showing again 5.5. The water pump pulley is a 6. And so it's now going to be underdriven a little bit. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to modify the thermostat, probably by drilling like a 1/4 inch hole in it to get a little more flow. So that way it'll be able to keep the engine cool while spinning slower. And I'll adjust further if necessary, but That worked on my Firebird the last time, so I think it'll work this time as well. And this will save me from overheating my power steering pump in autocross, revving on the engine. And so there you go.